got to have a concept. You have a great concept. You guys are doing it, man. And it's an honor for me to just be, a small rock, man, in your mountain. I'm going to pop a top in your honor. Mr. Doc Walker blessed us with his presence and knowledge.
We want to welcome in our next special guest, Haley Skarupa. She's a three-time world champion in women's ice hockey and most recently won Olympic gold with Team USA.
The Cap Stadium Series is definitely my favorite, obviously. I'm a huge Caps fan, I always have been, and to be there at that game with my teammates and for us to bring, our gold medals to there and share it with everyone in this area was really, really special for me, and just the support and it's been tremendous from everyone in this area, and you can feel that there at that game.
Welcome to Sports on the Hill podcast. Hashtag DC Sports Without the Politics with Carol and Robbie on True Radio Network.
Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome on in. Just getting some stuff set up. Welcome on in, Champ, Sith. Got both parts of the No Spots podcast with us. Got lots of animals acting a fool around me. All right, Neville, let's not get on the keyboard here. Just setting up some final things over on this side. Let's see why this is. Dismiss that. All right, sorry. Some things. Whenever you switch stream types, it gets all wonky. So, hopefully you guys liked the dive video, and hopefully you guys can hear me okay. That was the last video that we just released, which was the MUSA dive video. I'm going to show you guys a little bit about how I made that video as part of this. So this is the return of the Wednesday edit series. I had to take a couple of weeks off, but we are back with this, and today we're going to talk about how we made this underwater museum video. We're also going to take a look at some other footage and start to design the next video, which is of a really cool reef. So if people, I don't know, there's a VOD of this, so I will just tell the story. If people have heard it already, I apologize. But on this dive day, we did 3 dives. And so, yeah. Just hydrating a little bit before we get into it. Always a lot of running around before you get a stream going. So let me see if I can set up my screen share real fast, and then you guys can see some different things, and we can work from there. Give me 1 second. I will set up a share of Final Cut, and then we are going to go over here, and we're going to do this, and then we are going to put this up here, and then this becomes larger, and that's full screen. I think that looks pretty good. I think you can see everything. So unfortunately, just because we're transmitting footage through Zoom, it's not as HD as it obviously will be when you get the final edit. So nice. So Sith has got his tea, so that's awesome. Yeah, I just got my water here. I try to pre-hydrate, especially if you're going to be talking for a while. So this stream is going to be like 60 to 90 minutes, nothing too crazy long. I'm going to try to end it around 1 o'clock or maybe just before. And I wanted to just showcase a couple of different things. So we were talking about how I did 3 different dives. There's a rock ruff in chat, so I'm going to poke a catch that if anyone wants to do that. It's weird not being on a podcast where I feel like everything has to be on all the time. I realize with a stream, I could breathe. I can have a conversation with people. It's not as like trying to organize conversations. I loved, speaking of podcasts, a quick little plug. Episode 410 is, the VODs are up everywhere, on Twitch and on YouTube. And for a month, they keep it on Facebook. Yeah, we had such an incredible show. It was actually Sith and Dan I'll give an additional shout out right now. But both of them, Sith was amazing. Champ was amazing. We had an awesome. Um, we talked about Raw that was going on live. Champ was actually driving back, so we had him, call in, very old school, on the phone. And we talked about a lot of really cool things. Unfortunately, some sad things like the cuts as well. But we also talked a little football and soccer and baseball, and football of a different type, and the draft, and our thoughts on that, all in the first hour. And then we had an awesome roundtable of hockey. We had that E-Flat guy joining us, giving his Carolina perspective, along with Adrian giving his Oilers perspective. We had Gil back on. C4 gave us a recap about how the Bears are doing, so we got a Bears update in the playoffs, so that was great. And then in the final hour, we had two West Coast people join us. It's kind of cool that now the podcast has grown, that people are in different coasts, and Tim is actually up in Vancouver right now, so he was calling from there, and so that was great. And we also had Davey call in as well, and they got their thoughts on the NBA and other topics as well. So went 3.5 hours both weeks, 2 weeks in a row. Crazy amount of stuff. It's funny because like the Caps are out of it, you'd think they'd be shorter shows, but there's so much fun stuff to talk about the playoffs. And I know that we're a DC based sports podcast, but at the same time, I still do want to capture. I love the playoff time, and this is one of my favorite times of the year for sports. And I love March Madness just before it, and then I also really love October, when you've got like the end of baseball and the beginning of sports coming back, and football's in mid-stride and stuff like that. So thank you, Champ. I appreciate you for modding and putting all the commands in chat. Tim was wonderful. So was Davey. Everyone was great. We had 8 guests on the show. So I really appreciate all of your time. And it was a wonderful show, talking about a wonderful, large number of different topics. So we're going to do this one. Mexico dive. And we're going to pull up this timeline over here. Awesome. So this was the video that you guys were just watching, if you were watching the intro before this. So I just want to talk a little bit about this dive, because I never really got a chance to talk about it in great length. Yes, it does help that the defenders are kicking ass. And Champ, it's a good point. On sale on Friday, I'm going to look at ticket costs. If the tickets are reasonable, I think we're going to go to the finals is actually in DC this year. If the tickets are crazy expensive, I think maybe we should go to that last game of the season. So that's going to be kind of my deciding factor at this point. And so I'm hoping that tickets aren't too crazy. I'm considering taking Zach to that game. So we'll just see what the pricing and the thoughts are on that. But it's exciting that we have the championship game, and it's exciting the defenders are doing well. They're right now in the power rankings ranked number 1, which is cool, as the defending champions, and our most recent champions. So this dive was super fun. So this trip, Liz and I went to Mexico for her 40th birthday, and we were supposed to dive and do a night dive the moment we arrived in Mexico, which I think was a little bit crazy and ambitious, but the seas had other thoughts. It was raining, pouring down when we got there. It was very rocky. They had closed the ports to small vessels, so no night dive that night for us, which we thought, oh no, maybe we won't even get a night dive, because that was the only scheduled one ahead of time. But spoiler alert, they were able to reschedule one for the Monday, and so our friends were leaving town that were there with us, and so we had sort of set Monday aside to do this, which was the most important dive, was this underwater museum that we really wanted to see. But they were able to have a second dive with it, which is a dive of a reef, which is right nearby. And part of the reason why they have this museum is to try to draw people away from the reef, so that way the fish can It's not all the divers are in one location. The divers could go to the reef, or they could split time with this natural reef. And as you will see, these natural statues and stuff these statues create a natural environment that interlinks with them, which is really incredible stuff. So that was really cool. The reef dive is the second dive, and that's the one we're going to be editing or starting to edit the very early process. And then we were able to, that night, they take us back to that exact same reef that we saw for dive 2 and see it at night. And so I have footage from day and night from the same locations that eventually I'm going to, I think, put together into separate videos. What was incredible was these 3 dives, there was so much content in them that I have months worth of footage and things to release. Even this 13-minute video right here I shot over 35 minutes of footage to get it down to a 13-minute story, right? So there's still stuff that hit the cutting room floor. There's lots of reels that are coming out, and I want to just give a quick little shout out to Gross Scuba. So people should go check that out. We just hit 100 subscribers, so thank you very much. That was the goal of the last video. We actually, on Sunday, if you want to go back to the VODs, did a special where we went through all the day and night footage while we were watching playoff sports. So I was showing footage on loops while we were watching it, because I can't obviously show the sports. And so you'll see some of the same footage today, but lots of footage, a lot of footage that got on the editing room floor on this one too. So I haven't really gone through how we edited this one specifically. So I thought I would do that first for the first couple of minutes, and then I want to talk about the reels that came off of this, and then we'll talk about making some reels from Dive 2 that I need to do. It's kind of like my homework assignment. I need something for Friday and next Tuesday, and then we can also start to piece down the footage and make the video. But I'm hoping to do another Wednesday edit video next Wednesday as well. And that one would be in the afternoon for an hour from like 12:30 to 1:30 if I'm able to do it. And that I would be editing Dive 2 down a little bit further. So today we're just going to go through some of the footage, go through this edit. And if you want to see all of the raw footage from Dive 2 and 3, I did show it on that Sunday special. There was a pop-up show this past Sunday, and the VODs are up for those as well. And they're up on Gross Scuba as well as a behind the scenes, which these videos that I edit on these Wednesday edit streams go on Gross Scuba's behind the edits section of the front page there. So they kind of get a second life there if people want to know how I edited or some of my thoughts after the fact. With that, and if there's any questions about any of the things I'm showing or any of the edits and stuff like that, I was a video editing teacher. I love to answer questions, so feel free to drop those in chat. I'm happy to go back and answer. I'm going to go through some of the footage. I'll answer some questions, go back and forth and things like that. So feel free to, and I'll answer dive questions. I'm a master scuba diver. I've dove over 200 dives. I can answer lots of questions about that. I can talk about the editing of underwater films, which I've now done. This will be the 75th video that I've done underwater, whether it be snorkeling or diving. Or I can just talk about specific fish or things inside of this dive about this experience as well. So all those questions, you can feel free to drop them in Twitch chat or in YouTube chat. They'll both funnel through. If you drop it in Facebook chat, I'll have to answer those after the fact, just because it doesn't come through. If you do it from a show page, it does come through, but if you do it from a personal Facebook page like this video is, then it doesn't. One of the quirky things about Facebook Live. Anyway, all right, so this is the Dive 1 of the Mexico series. I'm going to just full screen it, and we'll just talk it through it a little bit. I'm not going to show the whole thing. I'm going to lower this. Hold on, I'm going to lower the volume. I'm getting some frame drop back. So yeah, this is getting really choppy. So hold on, let me just see if I can quit out of a couple of other programs to see if I can get some memory back. Give me 1 second while I do that. I don't need Photoshop right now. Just save a couple files real quickly in the background, and I'm going to quit out of. Yeah, it's taking a lot of memory. Sorry, just give me 1 moment. I will. Well, here's what I'll do. I'll be right back. Hopefully you can still hear me, but also hear the dog, since we showed dog quickly. Let me know if this works for you guys. Let's see here. All right, so hopefully we're back, and hopefully now we've got. Yeah, so I mean, it's choppy as hell. I'm sorry. Welcome on in, Stream Scribe. Yeah, so it's a little bit choppy. Uh, Scribe, let me know. You're happy. I'm happy to have you lurk, but I wanted to do an interview with you, and I would be totally happy to send you into this Zoom call and chat with you while I do this edit. But if you're busy and just want to lurk, that's fine as well. But if you would like to join the conversation, I have a split screen, and I would. Okay, you're all right. That's totally understandable, and lurk away. But at some point, I want one of these Wednesday streams to do. I'll be on for another hour or so from 12 to 1. But we can do another Wednesday edit stream. Like I try to do these in the afternoon on Wednesdays if I can. No, yeah, okay, for 100%. Yeah, I would like to do that with you. All right, so, but I will continue this conversation right here. So, I think I'm going to scroll through it because it's really choppy when I play it back. But trust me, it's beautiful, and I hope that people do go to Grow Scuba and watch it in 4K as it's meant to do. It's funny, I don't even have a 4K TV, so I haven't even experienced it myself in 4K, but I can tell that it's beautiful. So this is it's supposed to look like a mine, and so we come through this portal. He tells us that it's gonna explode, and we go past this thing. So this is a grenade. So it's cool that this like coral life and stuff starts to grow on it. So here are these amazing houses that are like. So this has been down there for about 16 years, and so you can see all the different coral and stuff grow on it, and it's really cool. And then there's this really funny scene that happened here. So this is the dive instructor down here, and up here is Liz. And so he told Liz, go check out, something with this chimney. And she thought he said, and this is what's funny about being underwater is you can't really tell what they're saying all the time. he thought they were saying, hey, look inside of this chimney, there's something cool in there. But he, meanwhile, is putting his regulator down here, and he's going to make bubbles come out the chimney, and it's going to look really cool. But she didn't realize that, and so she just gets hit with a face full of bubbles right here. So I thought that was pretty funny. But I mean, she's obviously fine. Oh, there's a Tinker Tink in chat. Poker Catch, Ultra Ball. I love Tinker Tinks. I guess got a bunch of shiny ones of those on Community Day. What a very cool Pokemon. Weird thing about Tinker Tinks is they can only be female. Baseball balls. Your future out of our baseball. Indeed. So that's here. You can see that there's a lot of coral and life growing inside of these places, and it's like there's lots of holes so things can travel through. So this next shot is kind of cool. You got some butterfly fish there, and then we're looking up, and so this excursion, Liz and I have a private dive instructor, so he's just taking us around. But above us is the snorkeling excursion. So the snorkelers came out on the same boat as us, and they're watching the same location, and they're just snorkeling over it, looking at the museum from above. It's about 25 feet. So some people come, surface dive down. It's a little far to see at 25 feet. Why I'm super happy I'm on air. So they don't do nitrox there. I'm a nitrox certified diver, which is a different type of mix that usually is better for getting less nitrogen in your system. But the depth is so shallow here that they don't feel like it's necessary. You don't get enough nitrogen buildup. So that's why they were allowing us to do 3 repetitive 35-foot dives, and why we could do 3 dives in a day and fly home the next day. I love this perspective. It's funny, Carly commented on the YouTube that this was her favorite shot. Carly Sings, formerly of Twitch. And she's doing well, and so I love this perspective too, because you're watching the people watch down at us, and then I don't know, did I catch her in this shot? I think there's they're waving at us at one point. Oh, right there, the very end of that shot. He's waving. This is kind of cool. This is what is the name of this creature? It's like this, it's almost like a bug, and it was like skittering across, and it went so fast that I actually slowed this shot down. So that's the shot up. And this is the sea anemone shot, which is actually my latest short. I decided to take this moment and go back and forth with music on it. I don't think it hit as well as I was hoping it to. Just as a short concept, I'm trying different concepts on my Grow Scuba channel. One of the videos that we did that was a short off of this ended up becoming my first viral short that I've had on that channel, and this past weekend got 7,000 views, so I was really excited about that. I'll mention when we get to that moment in this video. So the sea anemones are beautiful, though. I just love that. I also made a short from this where we follow this puffer around, and here you can start to see some of the statues, and it's kind of cool. BB the Goat from Twitch commented on YouTube that she loved that it almost looks like clothing on these guys, that the coral becomes like what they're wearing of these statues, which is really kind of cool. And so I love just being able to photograph it. I mean, I'd love to make some prints and pictures of it, because some of these shots are pretty incredible. And this is cropped. So what I do is I shoot this in full, which is like a square 4K. So it's almost like you imagine 2 4K monitors on top of each other making a square. And then that allows me to go back and grab a tall 1080p or 4K slice to put for reels or shorts or stories, but also grab it wide for cinematic shots for the long form video and stuff like that. Yeah, Firestone Rockdown, let's go next. Yeah, no, I'm doing something not sports. Although I am wearing This is weird. It's a Capitals and Flyers shirt from one of the very few playoff games I've ever gone to, and the only road playoff game I've ever gone to try to root on. And this is very weird, as you know, for me, as you're a Rangers fan, but I'm rooting for the Flyers tonight because I don't like the Penguins more. Sorry, Dan. I know Dan's in chat, but yeah, for me, like I'm gonna pick the Flyers. I went to college in Philly, so I definitely have some love for that city. And but yeah, let's go Knicks. I'm happy for your Knickerbockers there. Um, but yeah, so, fun fact: my dad obviously is from New York and is was a Knicks fan growing up, and I'm rooting for the Knicks for you, but also the best man of my wedding has the most strange sports alliance that you'll ever find. So he is from Philadelphia, so it makes sense that he's a 76ers. Sorry, not sorry. It makes sense that he is a Flyers fan and that he's a Phillies fan, right? That makes sense. But you would think he'd be a 76ers fan, but he's not. He's actually a huge Knicks fan. So he roots for the Knicks, and then you're like, oh, he must be an Eagles fan, right? He's from Philadelphia. No, he's a Cowboys fan. So just the most random thing. I've ribbed him about it for, since we went to college together. But you guys would get along because you guys are Knicks fans, just not in any other sport, pretty much. But yeah, so I'm rooting for the Knicks for both of you guys. Yeah, I hate I hate the Cowboys so much. I'm like, how can you root for them? And it's just funny because, like, of course, he was my best man. My wedding was in Texas, so of course he brings up the Cowboys. And so yeah, so this I love this shot of these fish coming through here. What a cool! I love these sea fans that are in here. Man, I wish it wasn't so choppy when I did it. I should really use Video Ninja for these streams and send it that way. Carla would approve of that. I know it's just so easier. I already have Zoom set up for all my other windows, so it's just easier. But for showing stills, it's fine. It's just not as good for. You'll just have to watch the YouTube video if you want to watch it in 4K. Anyway, but I just love these different statues and groupings, and got some pretty cool close-ups. I mean, almost like brain with these, like this brain coral growing on it. It's just wild. And yeah, just some really cool. Look, I mean, I don't know. I love some of these shots. But then, not only did we get to see that, but they have other sunken sculptures too. Like this is a really cool 360 around a car. And this is a cool grouper that you can see here. These guys are bowing, which is wild. And then this guy changes colors. Let's see if I can. So you can't even see him right now on the screen, right? But then as he starts to drift up, he changes blue and becomes more in focus. And then he tries to turn blue, so when he's out in the ocean, he blends in with the water. Really crazy stuff. But look at this. This is like hundreds of statues. First of all, I love queen angelfish. They're actually become my son's favorite fish to ID on my movies. Cause I make these movies to show it to them. Yeah, I know you hate the Cowboys too. But yeah, I love the iridescent colors of them. He loves the colors blue and yellow. So I love how this is right now next to this coral and this rock. I mean, this shot right here, I could even like rotate it around and frame that. It's just like some beautiful stuff. And what's great is I have 4K footage, so I could take things into like frame by frame into an animation and then bring it into Photoshop and be able to capture it and blow it up to some extent. It does have the ability to shoot in 5K. I just can't store all that data, so I don't. Anyway, this thing is just these seas of statues are incredible. But my favorite thing, I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit. Oh, that's so cool. I love. So this is a gray angel. So you've seen a queen, a gray, and then there's also a French angelfish too. So the gray are known because they've got gray spots instead of like the queen you just saw with blue and yellow. the French angels are the exact same as those, but they've got yellow dots. The grays actually have yellow fins, so there's inverted. So this guy right here, can you see him? He is a snorkeler and got a heck of lungs and strength upon him because he just got down to 25 feet. And to join us, I did not expect this. I would have tracked him very differently if I had. So I'm coming around. I don't even see that he is already coming down. You see him right here coming down on the descent. And then we pick it up there, and he comes out, he swims by, and then he sees that I'm filming, and then he poses for the camera. I'm going to try to play this. It's be a little choppy. So yeah, if I don't think I truly realized what I was getting when I was filming it, or I would have tracked him back to the surface. But instead I was like, oh, back to the statues. But that shot I took and I looped and made it a short, and that's the video that got the 7,000 views, which is very cool. I mean, not often do I get a snorkeler down there diving with me. And what's cool about this, what you're watching right now, is a much fuller shot. I had cropped it to just being a tall video. But that's why I like having long form and stuff like that too. So here's my dive instructor telling me, please get closer to your dive buddy and stop running away. I am the worst at that, so I apologize to him. But there's no buts. You should follow what the dive master says. We also had a private excursion where it was only two of us, and Liz was, it's a big rec field, but he had never dove with us before, so he didn't know how experienced we were. But Liz has dove over 100 dives now with me, and yeah, so what a cool thing. So anyway, I just love the fans and all this different coral and stuff like that. This is cool. Liz is like, the thing I love about having Liz on a dive with me as my person who joins me on these dives is she's really great at spotting stuff, right? So that's her expertise, I will say. Yeah, just really cool. Just to have somebody who like knows the different animals and knows what I'd want to capture. And so she goes around and looks under these ledges and in these tube corals and finds like the smallest, coolest things. Finds me lots of lobsters and so in a lot of the videos you see, I should give her credit as a spotter. But a lot of the stuff I see so much more in a dive when I go with her. So what a cool thing to get to experience it together. My parents started diving. Well, my mom started diving when I was a little kid. My dad had started diving in the 70s, and so I used to, as a kid, as an only child, watch my parents down below while I snorkeled above them, and knew that I wanted to get down there. I then got certified, went to scuba camp down in the Florida Keys called Sea Camp, which my dad helped start, and then and I hope Zach will get to be a third generation sea camper someday. And so you learn about science, marine biology. I got my advanced certification. I did transects and studied them, did shark bio, and always wanted to be maybe a marine biologist. And so being able to document diving over time is what's so important to me. And so it's really cool to try to document these reefs and these places. And so it's one of the things I like about my scuba channel is if you go through it, I actually, even though I shot a lot of that stuff on my main channel and I'm moving stuff slowly over to now this Grow Scuba, I have playlists that link over time, same location across both channels. And so you can see how dive sites change, or you can see that we see the same turtle 4 different times, all these sorts of different things. So it's really kind of cool to be able to document it and see that. And sort of, I can't be a marine biologist anymore, but I can sort of document these places. And I realize that so few people get to see these sort of things. And so I love being able to document it. So Liz also found this lobster, for example. Really cool shot there. And there's Liz going over. At the very end of the dive, we got a stingray, which is my favorite animal. And we were very blessed on this day. We saw a stingray on all 3 dives. This one, a few stingrays, including an Atlantic stingray, and that's one of the things we're going to be talking about in a minute. on the second dive, and then we even saw I don't know if he was sleeping or just laying down and not moving, could be hunting, in fact, a stingray at night. So very cool. I actually didn't have an exit shot for this video, but I did shoot a really cool, so that's the stingray. He shoots this thing up to the surface. And then I didn't have a shot at the very end. So what I actually took is I took my descent shot and I reversed it. And so you'll see a couple of the bubbles go the wrong way. But it's just footage that I want to be able to have the title cards or the options on YouTube. Because why I make these videos is I studied in film how to make interactive films and stuff like that. Oh, a sand shrew has appeared. If anyone wants to catch it, poke a catch. So I wanted to make stories that are interactive, where you could choose your own adventure, and that's actually what my thesis in college was, making use DVD menus back then on DVDs, and you could put the DVD in a video game console or a DVD player, and then play the game using any sort of remote, obviously console remote or a regular handheld remote, and so that was really cool, and that's what I really loved. And so the thing is that attracted me to YouTube 17 years ago when I started making YouTube videos is the ability to have title cards and end cards. And so I like people to either go through the story as intended, because I'm making like an 8-part documentary over time. They're released one part at a time. And then but if you're at a part, I want you to be able to either go forward in time and see the next dive in the series, or you can go back in time to see that same location maybe 1 year ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, and you can compare it over time. Or if I haven't been to that location before, maybe something I think is similar or related that I find interesting from the past archives, right? So it's kind of like a choose your own adventure in that regard. I end up going up. This is actually a descent, but I just shoot it backwards. It kind of works for the shot. You can see the bubbles going down there, but those get covered by the screen. So anyway, that is that video. These are the different reels that I made. So let me make a new project. Actually, maybe I'm going to make a new event. We're going to call it Mexico Dive 2. And then make a new project within that event. And we're going to make this 4K. And Dive 2 full. And then we are going to grab all the footage real quickly. Let's see how much footage we got from this second dive. So let me just go to the computer, and I'm grabbing from the very beginning of the footage all the way to the end of the day. So we started shooting at 5:05, so 55. So okay, so it's 50 minutes in real time of shooting. Let's see how much footage I got in 15 minutes of real time. I got 25 minutes of raw footage. Okay, great. So my plan is to turn this into like an 8 to 10 minute piece. It doesn't need to be the MUSA one, the museum one. I want it to be longer. It was the showcase, the primary video of this. This one could be cut way down. So anyway, we were talking about square shooting before. Now you can start to see the full frame, right? This is in high resolution, but what we do with all of the footage is I end up zooming into it. But one of the nice things about having the square, so we're going to just do it all right now. We're going to select the whole timeline, and we're going to scale it up till you don't see any black bars anymore, right? So now it's masked at the full width. So the thing is there could be information above or below. So for example, right now, so I could come down here, right? And what's cool is I, after the fact, can track things. So let's say I wanted to start the shot up there with the people at the surface, and then I wanted, well, it actually tracks pretty well, so maybe I don't need to do that for this. but maybe something else happens and I want to bring it back up. All right, so here, I'm just using this as an example right now. So now I hit on this, I have to click the timeline. We're going to hit a little keyframe over here. And so we're going to keyframe the scale and the position. And so now we're going to move it to here. And I'm going to say that I'm going to position this up. So I click this button and then I move this shot up and more into frame. So you can see how you can move it around. I could even, in theory, if I wanted to zoom in on them and move position, I could do that too. So what that would look like is you can see the camera shifts, right? So as it goes through, and then he becomes more centered in there. So it's not going to look 100% right now because right now Final Cut is rendering all this footage. I just dragged in 25 minutes of raw 4K footage, and it's trying to deal with that as well as the motion edit that I just did on this. So it's a little bit choppy. So we're not going to do too much with this timeline right now. I really wanted to get a base timeline to show you guys a couple of things, and then I'll just jump around and show you a couple of scenes, and we're going to grab some footage and we're going to bring it onto a second timeline. So welcome on in, Adrian. Do I have a command for you? I thought I did, but I don't know. Welcome on in. Yeah, lots of friends joining us today. Champ and Ace were both on the show, and so was Sith on Monday. So, and thank you to all the lurkers and other people that are watching and rocking with us. All right, so I showed you how to keyframe and do a motion edit, which is helpful for this. Also, all of that audio right now is at full volume, so that's a lot of bubbles and a lot of background breathing. So I usually take all of it and I take it to the audio mixer over here, and I drop it way down. And I can always bring it back up in specific places if I want to. All right, the things that I need to do today. We only have about 30 minutes left of the stream, and I'd like to make a couple of shorts with you guys. The full edit and going through this full footage will have to wait until next week. But if you want to see all the shots, I did go over it again on the Sunday stream. I did while we were watching. Unfortunately, Adrian's team lost that one, although they won last night, so good job, Oilers. Congratulations, Adrian. During that, I was showing the raw footage from this dive and the night dive as well. So if you want to see the raw footage from this before next week's dive, hopefully we're doing it. If I can't do the Wednesday show next week, I will edit this video separately, still upload it, and then like the following Wednesday I'm able to just go over the edit, kind of like what we just did with part 1 as well. And all right, so we're going to make a new sorry, not a new event. We need a new project. So a new project, and we're going to make a 4K vertical. So this could be used for a lot of different things. It could be used for a short. It could be used on my new Instagram, Grow Scuba Instagram channel. But right now, I'm just going to look through. I've got a couple of different notes here of the different edits that I wanted to do. Okay, so that's going to be, we're going to call this one Ray Explosion. And you'll see why in a second. All right, so let me find this shot in the full footage. And then we're going to grab it, and then we're going to make it a tall video. So I'm just going to cycle through this very quickly. Actually, I want to grab this shot too, because this is going to be the Atlantic Ray video, which is another short. So let me just grab that. New project. this one is the Atlantic ray. In fact, I'm just going to show you guys this real quickly because this is going to be another video that I need to do. So we'll just do them out of order. We'll do it in the order that it happened, not the order I'm going to release them. So here we go. You can see right there with that square shot, I have to zoom in just a little bit more with the scale. So this would be what it would be if it was 100%, right? It's pretty small. So we obviously zoom in, but because I'm shooting at 60 frames a second, 4K, it still retains a lot of the resolution. So I try to go just to whatever that seems pretty good right there. And then, let's see, how do we track it well? Nice, we do. All right. Alright, so where do we start? Okay, I think we started like here. How's that look? That's pretty cool. So this is an Atlantic ray, which is I don't know if I've ever seen one of these before. They're a lot bigger than stingrays. I'm pretty far away from this. I'm swimming towards it, but I'm still pretty far, as you can see from those coral heads. But it's making coral heads and those things look tiny. So this is more like the size of like a manta ray than a. Let's ask ChatGPT real quickly, and I'll have them weigh in. Hi ChatGPT, what are the size of an Atlantic ray? We saw one on our dive in Mexico.
Atlantic rays vary in size depending on the species. For example, an Atlantic stingray is typically small, with a disc size width around 12 to 14 inches, 30 to 35 centimeters. But some larger species, like the rough-tailed stingray, can have a disc width of several feet, often reaching 6 feet, about 1.8 meters across. So depending on which ray you saw, it could have been anywhere from just over a foot wide to several feet.
Yeah, this one was several feet and very white in design.
Ah, then you likely encountered a larger species, maybe a southern stingray or a related big ray. Some of these can get up to 5 or 6 feet across. The lighter color might have been a trick of the water or a unique individual. It's always incredible to see those graceful giants underwater.
All right. Yeah, it's definitely not a southern stingray, just based on its coloring and shaping. And you can see that it has this like flutter effect going on with the wings that look very different than what you will see with the southern stingray, which we're actually going to compare it to right now. So let's go find one of... So we had a couple of stingrays on this dive. We're going to cycle through some footage real fast to try to find them. It's not fully rendered yet, so all the thumbnails aren't there. Sorry, just give me a minute. We're gonna have to scrub through. I thought the intro didn't come in out of order. That pufferfish was so cool. I feel like he's gonna have to... Oh, this guy's a cool stingray too. This one's caught in the sand though. This is not the one we're using for the video. But you can see from above... Did I get a shot of it from above? Hold on. Yeah, you can see right here, it's sort of very faint. Let me see if I full screen it for you guys. You can see right here. There we go. So you can see the shape of the stinger with a little bit of the stinger popping out the back side of it right there. That's really cool. That's a shark. Alright, hold on. I'm gonna grab this shot as well. So we're definitely gonna make a new project. Okay, sorry, I had to grab that shark shot. Alright, we're going back to the full video again. When did I thought it was earlier than this. Wait, oh, it was that late? It was like one of the last shots we took? Wow. I did not realize that. Alright, well, that's cool. Alright, Ray Explosion. Ironically, the first short that we're releasing is the last shot, I guess. Alright. Alright, so we're zooming in on this guy. Alright, so we're actually using very little of this shot, but obviously in the full video we will show some of the approach and more of it. That's pretty good. I think it's a 12-second clip. We'll see how that renders out. Oh, I didn't even see that Pokemon in chat. Oh well. Oh yeah, it's like that yarn scorpion thingy. I don't know. Completely forgot about that Pokemon. I'm happy I have that command that can tell us more about it. You can always, whenever you're on Twitch chat, click on the link from that Stream Elements, and it analyzes whatever Pokemon Community game sends out. And then I worked with a friend of ours and on scripting a thing, and she was able to grab the name of the Pokemon, and we were able to work together to try to make it so that it actually works live with the Stream Elements. So thank you to her for doing that. I think it was Penguin Superhero, I think, who did it. So, yeah. But yeah, it's very helpful to learn about stuff like that. All right, so is it done rendering? Nope, still rendering. All right, so we're gonna make these couple of clips real fast, and then I think we're gonna call it a stream here. And because I gotta do lunch and clean up a couple of things as well. That's such a perfect. I love that. That is a perfect short. I think I'm going to keep it natural too, and not even add any music to it. I think that that will be good for that. All right, so we have Puffer Spook School is the next video. Okay, so we have to find that video, that shot, and make that one, and then Atlantic Ray, and then Shark. So. So this will be the first short. So this one will go on Friday. And then next Tuesday is what the one we're doing next. Okay. So I have to plan out my shorts and stuff like that because the shorts actually do better than the long form, and so I'm trying to keep on a cadence so that people like regularly know that they're coming out and stuff like that. So this is so cool. This guy is the smallest. I gotta show you guys this shot. Sorry, my computer is not liking the amount of rendering it's doing right here. All right, so I'm gonna pause it in a second. I'm just trying to get it a little further into the shot. Can you guys see this little flounder? The flounder is like the size of a quarter. How this dive instructor saw this while we were swimming over it is beyond me. But I'm gonna circle it so you can see it. It's right here where you can see the little fin right there and the incredible stuff. But yeah. Anyway. All right, let's find the shot because I do want to try to finish this in the next 20 minutes. So, all right, that's a really cool stingray. I will do something with him at some point. I love this puffer fish, though. He's got to have his own story. He's so cute. All right, fuck. All right, I'm gonna grab this too. He needs his own story. File, new project. Puffer. Even if I don't do it during this and I like over the summer when I need more shorts, I might use this shot then. He's so cool. It's way too long of a shot, but I'll start here. Alright, I'll have to do some edits for that, but that's a cool shot that I do want to do at some point. Alright. So we're going to... Where is this? It's the other puffer fish. I guess. Oh yeah, I guess I can't use that one now. But that one I will. I'm happy I grabbed it because I will use that for like a later project. Like I'll render that for and release that over the summer. Oh, there's some lobsters. That's a cool shot too. Yeah. Too many good shots. All right. So that's the Atlantic Ray. Where is the? Was it before all this? Right, so here's the beginning. So. Aha! I saw it. Cool. There's this moment here that I thought would be a really it's really the end of this shot that I really like. I wonder if it's going to come across in the vertical in the same way that I think it does. I think it's a really cool moment when it's horizontal, but I'm going to see right here. Yeah, it's definitely not as cool. I'm going to start this a little bit later and draw it out a little bit later. And I do want to... Is there a way that I can widen it out? Hold on, let me see. Alright, position and scale. Okay, so I like it to here. Position, scale. And then when it gets to here, I need it to move back. The fish is moving Mach speed. Alright, so he's going back through here. And then I don't know. This isn't going to look right, but I kind of want to render it to see what it does. Alrighty. Alright, we're going to be raiding over to our friend Emily Henry in just a few minutes. She's got a Kickstarter that is going well. We're trying to have her hit her stretch goal. Alrighty. Actually, what happened? Alrighty, Sorry, it's doing a render right now. You can't even see the progress bar because it's on like a separate screen. But yeah, I'm gonna do a 2-second BRB and show you guys a little bit of a night dive here. There's an underwater Pokemon.
I love you. This is mommy's favorite dive. I love this dive. Thank you so much for being good to Grandma, okay?
Alright, and we are back, and it's rendered. I thought it was more fun than watching a rendering screen. Alright, let me see here. This may be totally terrible, and I may need to redo this, but I'm trying to keyframe it to try to show something at the very end. Once again, I'm really sorry it's so choppy for you guys. Yeah, that did not work. I'll have to do it differently. Yeah, I don't know. So I'm trying to do frame by frame animation. So when he goes over here, I need it to be like showing these guys' reactions. He goes over here, and these guys. Dart away. Alright, let's, I think this is a good place to end it. So we've got, well, let's just show the shark clip real quick. I'm going to zoom in even more. Alright. Well, that's a tight, like, 30-second clip. I'm going to post that clip in a montage of my MLB. Whenever you get a chance, could you send me the file of the short of me taking the super? Yeah, for sure. I'll do that right after this stream. And, yeah, sounds good. Do you like where I edited? Do you want more padding before or after it? Or was it good the way it was? Let me know. I still have it in, well, actually, huh. I can just pull it up right here. Hold on, let me see. I think I snuck it. I thought I had it saved in here, but maybe I did it in a different program. welcome on in, Andy. We were just finishing doing some scuba edits. I was making some different shorts. So this is a shark one. There's this puffer fish that comes into this shot here, and he like swims away. So I was doing something with that. And a couple other ones that I had here. Let me see if I can pull those up. So there's an Atlantic ray one, and then this is the big one right here. This ray explosion one. It's gonna be the short that I do. This Friday. So welcome on in. Thanks for watching on YouTube. Alright, so I'm going to export that one, and, well, Andy, I'm about to raid, so if you want to raid with us, you can come over to the Twitch stream, but either way, yeah, we were just going through how I edited the museum dive, and then I also showed some of the footage from dive number 2, and we've created, 2 pufferfish clips, 2 ray clips, and a shark clip out of that, that I'll use for shorts, and also use as IG Reels. I'm trying to beef up and make a new IG Scuba account. My latest video, that was kind of a repost that we did earlier this year from the main channel, is up on Gross Scuba right now. Yeah, we're going to go over rate our friend Emily Henry music. And yeah, let me just start that raid. Thank you everybody for tuning in. We had a lot of people lurking, watching, chatting. Appreciate you all. Been a super fun stream. Yeah, it's hope to see you guys on Monday. This past Monday's episode of Sports on the Podcast was great. We had 8 guests, 3.5 hours long, talked about a lot of different sports. You can go check that out. Also, we will be doing one next Monday. I'll continue to talk about the playoffs. We'll continue to talk wrestling, baseball, football, and soccer stuff as well. And we're going to rate our friend Emily Henry music right now. Yeah, I don't know why those special sub raids, I don't know, there used to be like a thing, but anyway, I'm just going to grab this one. You used to have a custom thing, but I think that the bot isn't working right now, so I need to install a new bot, which I'm going to do, using probably the Webs bot, which is my stream team. Go check them out if you haven't. Again, thank you for tuning in. Next Wednesday, hoping to do another edit stream. That one will probably be like 12:30 to 1:30. But yeah, go enjoy Emily Henry music. I hope that you guys all have a great rest of your week, and talk to you guys soon. Check out Gross Scuba if you haven't. Bye, guys.